When my sister died, that was the problem that started. It was so horrible. We didn't know. Secrets started to come out, and it just get worse from there. Going through financial difficulties here in England, it wasn't good for me either. It was horrible. My love life was a mess. It used to be arguments all the time, arguments. It was horrible until we eventually even split. I was living in a different home, he was living in a different one. We never used to see each other. When we do see each other like once a week, it would be an argument. The next week it would start again. And life was just a mystery. After my sister died, I came back and I wanted to go to a church. So I just went to the church Sunday. I was even early. The turning point for me was to make that changes that I want to see. I wanted to have a happy family, a happy home. I want my financial life to be where I want it to be. I want to do things that would turn things around for me and my family. So it started off with my family, really. I started praying for them, doing things that should help them, making purposes that will help them, knowing that it will help them. With my financial life, I step out, I start doing things. At that moment, I was brave to step out and to do the things that I'll do, because at the end of the day, I even have 2 children I was sending to uni and high school at the same time, and I have to be the one who financing that. So it was difficult for me, but I step out and make that changes. Now, my love life is getting better and better. Today, we are planning our wedding. We're getting married soon. Next year, we're getting married. And we are happy because we are making the changes that I should make. I turned my life around, and so can you.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. Now, do you have a dark secret? Is there something that has happened to you that maybe you are experiencing now in your life and you are ashamed to talk to someone about it? You can't voice your opinion. Maybe there is something that you're going through that is so embarrassing that if you share that with other people, they may think you're going out of your mind. You're going crazy. You know, people think that you've lost it. You know, there are some things that we can talk to close friends and family about, and they will be able to give us advice because it's something normal. It's something natural to talk about. It's a problem that maybe most people go through. But maybe there's that one problem that you can't tell anyone, because the thought of telling it to someone, you may feel as though you're going to be isolated. You feel as though you're the only one going through that problem. Now, without mentioning any problems, maybe you can relate to what I'm saying. And if you are feeling embarrassed, if you feel scared, if you feel as though you're the only one, and maybe you want to do something drastic, you want to do something to harm yourself, even to end your life with that problem. As I said, I haven't mentioned anything yet, but if already you are saying that's me, then I want to invite you to call us up and speak to one of our advisors about it. You can be off air, you can talk to them, and they will be able to explain to you what you can do to solve that problem, right? And remember, there are problems that are physical, that one word, an advice, can change that situation. But there are some problems that are spiritual, something that your doctor will not be able to help you with. The best advice from your friends, from your loved ones, from your family will not change that situation. So we invite you to call up because maybe one word from one of our advisors and the prayer will change that situation. And on tonight's program, we're going to have two guests on, and they're going to be talking about a problem that they both had. And tonight's topic is, a problem shared is a problem halved. That's a very famous saying. We all know it, but there is truth in that. If you share your problem with someone, you're already halfway to the solution. You're halfway to finding a cure, an answer to that problem. So, my question to you is, are you not sleeping well at night? Because tonight, one of our guests, she couldn't sleep well at night. And it wasn't because, she had a rough night. It wasn't because she was, she couldn't sleep because of whatever reason, the brain and things like that. She had an attack at night. Not by someone physical, but by a force that she could not see. Someone that would hold her during the night. May sound scary, but it's actually true. And she's going to be sharing her story with us. So maybe this may be your secret. Maybe you have this force holding you down on your bed, squeezing you, maybe having sexual intercourse with you, and that's your problem. And you're afraid to share that problem with anyone for fear of being called a lunatic, a mad person, crazy, because no one believes in you. But actually, we believe in you. We believe that if you're going through this, that you are actually going through it, and that there is a cure for it, like you will hear from tonight's guest. All right? We also have another guest who will be talking about something that is common, a grudge, a feeling against people close to her. And she couldn't tell anyone about it. She found it hard to speak to anyone about it. And maybe that's the problem that you are facing. So with me tonight, I have Victoria. Hi, Victoria.
Hiya.
How are you doing?
I'm very good, thanks.
Would you like to share the details with our viewers for tonight?
So if you'd like to speak to somebody, then you just need to call us. The number is 020 7686 6300, or you can send us an email. The email address is help@findinganswers.tv. Or if you'd like to speak to us via social media, then you can send us a tweet. Just start your tweet with @FindAnswersTV, or you can follow us on Facebook. Just search for Finding Answers.
Those are contact details if you want help. So if you want to pick up the phone, if you want to come live on air now and share with us what you're going through, then we'll include your name at the end of the program. So here's a short video explaining about tonight's topic.
In January, researchers tried to conclude whether a problem shared really is a problem halved. Researchers from California asked 52 female undergraduates to be paired up and to make a speech whilst being taped. Prior to each speech, half of the participants were encouraged to discuss how they felt about public speaking with the researchers and their fellow participants. The other half of the participants were told not to discuss their feelings. Levels of the stress hormone cortisol were measured before, during and after each participant's speech. The researchers found that stress levels were significantly reduced when the participants were able to vocalize how they felt about their speeches. This suggests that sharing experiences can help people deal with stresses in their life, from work stresses to home life worries. Times when you are feeling sad or angry, when we finally confront someone about something that has been eating away at us, when we make a deep connection with another person, or even a good, hearty chat with a friend, a trouble shared can be a trouble halved. It's good to take a moment and think about the feelings that you get when you are in or have just finished a great conversation. It makes you feel good about yourself and about the world. Sometimes you may want to talk to your friends about problems, but other times it might be easier to talk to a stranger. Strangers will have no preconceived views of your life or your already existing problems. Saying your problems out loud can help you come to terms with your troubles. It can give you a deeper understanding of yourself and can even help you make changes in your life.
Do you want to change in your life? Then, as I said, if you want to pick up the phone and talk to a stranger, as Victoria said. You know, I was just thinking sometimes there are people that can connect, Victoria, more with a stranger, someone that they don't know and feel more comfortable than maybe someone close to them.
Yeah, and especially if the problem, you might feel embarrassed about it, then you might feel more relaxed talking to somebody that you've never met. And even if they're an expert in something, then that's quite helpful. Yeah,
exactly. So maybe your problem, I mentioned 2 problems with our guests tonight, but maybe your problem that you're going through is something quite normal as well. I just gave 2, one extreme case and another, you know, so regular, if I can say that, something that happens with a number of people. Maybe your situation, you can't open up to anyone. You're just closed. You just want to curl up and not talk about anything. You know, part of the solution is actually talking to someone, airing it out. Even if you are a quiet person, an introvert person, part of the solution is just to face that comfort zone, if I can say that. It's normal, it's comforting to just be yourself and not open up. But if you want, then pick up the phone and give us a call. All right? So we're going to go for a break now. When we come back, you're going to hear our 2 guests' stories on what they went through. We'll see you after this.
The UCKG Helpline Call Centre is open 24 hours a day, every day of the week, all year round. If you need help due to a serious problem you may be going through, if you feel that you have nowhere to turn to and desperately need someone to lend a listening ear, then we can help you. It doesn't matter who you are or what you have done, your religion or race, your call will be answered by someone who genuinely cares about you and has your best interests at heart. We also arrange home visits for the housebound and hospital visits for anyone in great need of kindly human contact. Whether it is simply information you want or desperately need someone to talk to, we're here for you on 0207 686 6000.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, if you just tuned in to this channel, stay tuned because now you're going to meet 2 guests who are going to be sharing their experiences of holding a problem with them. Let's meet them now.
It's pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
So with me tonight is Marie and Regina. Yes. Welcome to the program. So Marie, tell us about your problem because, as I mentioned, you had spiritual attacks.
Indeed, yes.
And you're going to explain more about that in a moment. But, you know, life for you before 19, was it 19 years old?
Yes, since 19 years old.
Relatively okay.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You didn't have any problems as
Before
such. But then something happened, right? So tell us what happened that these spiritual attacks started.
It's starting like when I would go sleep, like 19 or 20s, when I go sleep, they're always, as soon as I go to bed, like I will feel like someone is behind my back and hold me tight. But you can see, you can feel the presence of a man, you know, holding me. So what I did all the time was just like pushing all the time. And the more I would push, like, it would just like, you know, hold me like that. This has been going for many years going on. So for me...
Hold on a minute. So 19 years old, you didn't have a boyfriend, you didn't have a brother, you slept in your room alone.
Yeah, of course. Yes,
right?
Yes.
So there was no one in your room.
No way, no.
But you would feel this presence.
Yes.
Who would hold you in bed.
Yes.
Now, when that first happened, what did you think?
Because for me, it was in a dream, so I think, oh, well, you know, that was normal, no more. But then it get to a tense that it was going more often.
Mm. But was it always in your sleep?
Always in my sleep. Mm-hmm. When I go to bed, it would be in my sleep.
Well, every single night?
Sometimes twice a week or 3, and then it got gradually like most of the time. Yeah. There was somebody in my bed, you know. And then I got so frightened all the time, frightened.
Did you ever wake up from this experience?
Yeah. I sometimes, because sometimes you feel like really someone is in my bed. I was sweating and I would go to the kitchen and get some water, and so frightened because actually it's not physical, it's spiritual. It's going on for many years, and then this.
How long did this go on for?
Oh, it's been now, I would say, good 20 years now. All my youth.
Really?
All my youth is going on.
So for 20 years, every time you would go to bed, you would feel this person, this
presence, yes.
This presence there.
Yeah.
Now, were you ever married, or did you ever get a partner?
Yeah, I was married.
You was. Now, does it continue?
Sometimes.
So, when you were with that person, now you're with your husband, in bed, it continued? It still happened?
No, not too much.
But it still happened?
A little bit, yes.
But was it your husband? Or can you still sense that it was someone else?
I can feel something in my back. Yeah.
But were you aware that it was still someone else?
Something, yes.
Because some people may say, you know what, this time it was your husband, so maybe it was just in your mind when you were single, now it was your husband. Could you say that it was this spirit?
It was, yes, I would say. And he would even come in my dream. He would come like in a suit, like a striped suit, like a blue suit, a tall man, very tall. When I see him in my dream, I said, oh my God.
So you used to see?
Yeah, I will dream, a tall man will come with a suit on, and actually like coming to bed. And that's why I start getting so scared, very scared. And I'll be screaming in my dream, really screaming or fighting or screaming. And sometimes what I get, like someone will be coming, punching me on my head, punching all the time.
That was in your dream?
Yeah, all the dream. Nightmare, screaming all the time.
Now, when you woke up, did you have, because some people who've come on this program who said that they had these attacks at night, some would wake up with actual marks, scars on their body. Did you feel anything, or did you see any marks?
For me, it was my heart was going very fast, beating very, very fast, and I actually sweating. Water was coming down. That's how frightened I was. You know, and then I had to go and get water and drink, and scared to go to bed. I was so scared to go sleep. Very, very scary.
Now, you know, as that 19-year-old, were you at school or work at that time?
No, school is finished.
What were you doing at 19 years old then?
I was still with my parents.
But what did you do during the day?
During the day, go to school.
Yeah. So, going to school, did you speak to anyone about what you were going through?
No.
Why not?
Because this actually, from school until I got quite old, this was carrying on. I was just.
But why didn't you speak to anyone?
For me, this thing is very embarrassing because people will think that, oh, I'm mentally ill something. It's so embarrassing. How can I say, oh, you know, when I'm sleeping at night, there's a man coming to my bedroom sleeping. I can feel somebody, you know, like hold me tight, like someone is behind me. And sometimes I get so scared because you feel like something hot behind you.
Yeah.
You know?
So maybe if it was your boyfriend, you'd have probably said, you know, I'm with my boyfriend, he slept round last night.
No way.
If you were, I'm saying, if that was your boyfriend, if it was someone physical, you probably would have told your friends at school that, you know, he slept round, he was with me, right? We held each other in each other's arms. But you wouldn't feel embarrassed, but you felt embarrassed because there's actually no one there.
Yeah,
right?
No one there. For many years, but for many years this is carrying on. So I felt very embarrassed. How can I speak to people? I said, look, I have nightmares at night. I feel so scary to go to bed because I feel a presence in my bed. I feel
Did you used to sleep with the light on?
Most of the time. Sometimes I get so scared. Like one day before, if I had that dream, he was coming. The next day, I'll put the light on. I will not sleep in the dark.
But did that help, leaving the light on?
But I couldn't see anything because the light is on.
It was only when it was dark?
Dark, yes.
So you lived in like constant fear for 20 years?
Yeah, fear is, you know, really, really scary.
Yes. So look, maybe you're going through something similar. Something like what Marie's going through now. And maybe, you know, it's getting late, but the lights are on and you're going to try to get a good night's sleep. Whether the lights are on or not, maybe you have this dark secret with you and you're not telling anyone about it. Maybe it's something else that you're going through. It's embarrassing to talk about. It could be an embarrassing health problem. It could be the fact that your partner has left you and, you know, you don't want to tell anyone that he's left you or she's left you even. And maybe you're living this fantasy that they're still with me, but you don't want to tell anyone what you're going through. Maybe you're going through an addiction to drugs, an addiction to porn, an addiction to something else that's controlling you, and you're living a double life, right? You're hiding that secret from someone. I don't think you can last longer than what you've put up with so far with this problem. And you can get help, all right? I'm going to introduce you to our second guest, who is Regina. Hi, Regina.
Hi.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So, you had a problem as well, and
Yes.
at a young age as well.
Yes, definitely.
How old were you when things started to go wrong for you?
I would say 10 years old.
10.
10, yeah.
So tell us what happened.
It was mostly to do with my feelings towards my father. I had a lot of hatred towards him. That's the only word I can describe it. And it was mainly because I never really had a relationship with him. There was always this distance between us. Mm-hmm. And for me, if I was to look at him, it was like not looking at my father. And for me, that was my secret, because it was hard for me to share with my sisters that I actually don't like our dad.
Why? Why did you have this anger, this hatred towards him?
It's just because a combination of so many different things, but also because his relationship with my mom didn't exist. And I felt very excluded by him. Mm. I felt as though he didn't take time to get to know me as a daughter. He didn't take the time to really know who I am. And even when he was around, he didn't make any effort as well.
Now, why was that? Did he have another woman?
Well, I come from a very big family anyway, so there's quite a lot of us. Mm-hmm. So he did have another wife.
He did?
Yeah, he did. And he had kids with her. But we all used to live together anyway in the same house.
Now that's from your culture, right?
Yes.
You're from Nigeria?
Yes.
So that's kind of normal?
It's normal,
where you came from?
Yeah.
Okay. So you had this anger towards him, mm-hmm. and this hatred.
Yes.
Did your brothers or sisters have the same feelings towards him?
Not from my understanding. Not from the time I had conversations with them or anything. They seemed to see him completely different from the way I saw him. Mm-hmm. So it made it really hard for me to tell them, actually, I don't think Dad is like this, or I don't think Dad is like that, because they seem to have positive things to say about him. So
because you kept this secret, this thought, this anger toward your father, a secret, how did you start behaving?
I I just excluded myself. I didn't want to be around him. When I was around him, he felt very, very odd. He didn't feel as though he was someone. He felt like I was sitting, if I was to sit next to him, he felt as though I was sitting next to a stranger. He didn't feel, the father and daughter connection wasn't there. So I kept a very close distance from him, and also I also excluded myself from my family as well.
Did you tell anyone? I mean, this was started at 10 years old.
Yeah. How
long did you have this feeling for?
I had it till for as long as I can remember, and I never told anyone. Mainly because they would have probably thought it sounded odd for you not to like your own father. Yeah. But also because I was just worried about what they were going to say about me saying that. They would ask me so many questions as well as to why would you feel that way. Yeah. Yeah. So
you never told friends, whether it's at school?
No, none of my friends, you know, no one whatsoever actually.
Your family members, no one knew about what you're going through?
No.
How did it affect you?
A lot of anger, that's what I would say. It wasn't anger to lash out. It was what I call quiet anger. So it's something that is hidden inside and you just keep in there and it eats you from the inside.
So that's what I'm saying. It was eating you up. Did you kind of lash out at family? Did you kind of hit walls? How did this anger build up inside of you?
It was because I was keeping myself away from that. So it was something where I would be away from my family. And all it takes is for something small, nothing to do with what happened, but then I would just explode and so many different things will come out because I kept it in for so long. All it takes is for someone to say something, and I'll just lash out.
And who would you lash out at?
Whoever is around.
Really? Yeah. So could that have been your mum?
It could have been my mum. It could have been any of my sisters, you know. Cause
what about at school as you got older?
At school, I just kept to myself at school. I had friends, but they had no idea about my family. They didn't know anything about me. They just knew me in school, just as every normal person. But in sharing what I felt, sharing any other thing, that didn't happen whatsoever,
So look, we're going to go for a break now. If you can identify with anything our two guests said tonight, then if you want to give us a call, maybe you have a solution. You have an answer. Maybe you have a problem that you spoke up to someone about and that was the start of a change for you. Or you saw that problem lessened, it eased because you're able to talk instead of holding it in. So that problem could be anything whatsoever. And if you want to call us and tell us your story of how you are coping or how you dealt with that problem, then the number's on the screen, you can give us a call. But stay tuned because when we come back, you're going to hear how Marie, how Regina, how they were able to overcome this problem and live a completely different life today. We'll see you after this.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you.
Hi, the Chrissy B Show airs live on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, coming to your homes with entertainment, life issues as well as hard-hitting topics, coupled with friendly and practical advice. I love to look at the happier side of life and believe a person can achieve amazing things when they put their mind to it. The Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life.
The Bible contains the mind of God, the state of man, the way of salvation, the doom of sinners, and the happiness of believers. Its doctrines are holy, its precepts are binding, its stories are true, and its decisions are immutable. Read it to be wise, believe it to be safe, and practice it to be holy. It contains light to direct you, food to support you, and comfort to cheer you. It is the traveler's map, the pilgrim's staff, the pilot's compass, the soldier's sword, and the Christian's charter. Here, paradise is restored, heaven opened, and the gates of hell disclosed. Christ is its grand subject, our good the design, and the glory of God its end. It should fill the memory, rule the heart, and guide the feet. Read it slowly, frequently, and prayerfully. It is a mine of wealth, health to the soul, and a river of pleasure. It involves the highest responsibility, will reward the greatest labor, and will condemn all who trifle with its sacred contents. Pray it in, read it through, live it out, and pass it on.
Hello and welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight our topic is a trouble shared a trouble halved? And that's the question that we've asked the general public.
Definitely depression is probably number one.
They're arguing and they're talking negatively about each other.
What is more valuable than another? And so
you can have as many friends and families as you want, it just depends.
Is a common regret, like, oh, like I should have like asked that person out, or like...
A trouble shared is a trouble halved. I'm on the streets of London asking the public, is this really true? Let's see what they say. Do you think a trouble shared is a trouble halved?
Yes, if you have someone that you can share it with, that will take half of it for you.
Yes, I think that's true also, particularly, you know, if you decide to get married, then you've got a partner, and I think life is a bit easier when you've got somebody to talk to.
If you share your trouble with somebody, it's easier to get through it.
Yes, definitely as well, because sometimes just when you share it with someone, it does half it, because you've got it off your mind and you're able to speak about it, and plus you get someone else's perspective. I think if you don't speak to someone, then you keep it all in, and it actually doubles rather than halves.
Well, there you go. Those are some comments from people on the streets of London. And maybe you need a shoulder to cry on. Maybe literally you need a shoulder to cry on. Okay? And if you want, you know, a listening ear, then please, you can give us a call as we're talking to our guest tonight. So, Marie, tell us, what was the worst point in your life in these 20 years when you had these nightmares? You were married, you told us, but these nightmares were still taking place where you'd feel this presence holding you. Tell us what the worst point was.
The worst, and then this was going to carry on for many, many years. And then it just happened that at the same time that things was going on, I lost my job, you know, I had money, I lost everything that was going on, everything. I was depression. I wanted to commit suicide because for me there was no way out. There's no one can help me.
So
yeah.
from a nightmare that was constant,
yes,
having this presence hold you, you started getting depressed,
yes,
suicidal,
yeah, because for me this is not real.
Yeah.
It's false, and I cannot speak to nobody. People think I'm mental. How can I? It's so embarrassing. How can I speak to one?
And I think, you know, what you're saying here, we can see this in films. You know, the paranormal activity type films where you know, the person's living a normal life, and then they start having these experiences, these paranormal activities, and you see that their lives start to deteriorate. It starts to get worse because they can't explain. Now, why would Hollywood make films worth millions of pounds, budgets worth millions of pounds, to create these stories out of nothing? Most of these stories are based on facts, on truth, true stories. So it's not fantasy. It's not a story that we're telling here. This is actually real, that takes place. And, you know, it was happening in your life where things were getting worse.
Worse for many years. Things got worse. I've gone to too many places. It's gone worse. Who
did you try to get help from?
Actually, because things was getting so bad in my life, my sister-in-law, they see that my life, how my life was and how my life was getting worse.
Did you try to get help from, like, I don't know, psychics, doctors, anything like that?
No, not psychics.
Did you try to look for help, a solution?
I was told, just pray over it, just pray, and, you know, you'll be okay. But even I did pray, but I didn't say anything. Okay. Then, one day, my sister-in-law felt so sorry, said to me, you know, there's something wrong with you. And I said, no, there's nothing wrong. She said to me, have you seen the state of you? You've lost everything. Look at you now, the way you were, and look at you.
So even though you thought nothing is wrong, everyone else could see that your life was going downhill.
For me, it was just bad luck. I said, no, it's just bad luck. She said to me, it's not bad luck, something is wrong with you. She said to me something. And then one day she was just passing through a place, and she was given a leaflet.
Okay. I'm sure that's coming to the solution. All right, hold on to that. I just want to hear from Regina. What was the worst point in your life? What was the worst moment for you?
For me, the worst moment was when I got to the point where I didn't want to be in my own house. And when I was at home, I spent most of my time on my computer upstairs. There was no real interaction with the people around me. And even though my dad wasn't around at the time because he moved away, even with him not being around, it's like I got into the habit of excluding myself to the point where I didn't even want to be a part of my family. I just felt I wanted to be away because it reminded me anyway of him, seeing them. So I just moved myself away from them.
So you locked yourself in your room, stayed
most
on the
of
computer.
the time, yes.
Did you try to kind of, I don't know, find friends online? What were you doing on your computer?
Most of the time just browsing, you know, but I did do that. I did actually find websites where you could actually speak to people. I went on websites where they help you with dealing with just normal teenage issues and stuff, and I used to share my problem with other people and I would get their advice. A lot of the time it wasn't advice that actually helped me, but when I typed a message or replied, it was as though I was speaking to someone about the problem. So you were looking for help? I was, yes.
Okay, so tell us then, we'll start with you, Regina. Tell us, how did you find a solution? Because today, you're not the same person anymore.
No, I'm not.
Right? So tell us, how did you get help?
I was invited to a youth group. So, I mean, that was the first step for me. And when I came, you know, it was a bit different, but when I first came, there was something about the place that was completely different.
What was different?
The atmosphere was different, and it seemed as though everyone there was happy. They had reasons there was just freedom. That's the word I would use. They were free, and it seems as though they had what I held inside, which was the hate and the anger. They didn't seem to have that. It was very forgiving.
Did you share what you're going through with anyone?
I did, yeah. I spoke to someone. When I finally did take the time to start coming properly, you know, coming to the youth group, coming to the services or any meetings that were going on, I had the opportunity to speak to someone to actually
who was that someone?
It was an assistant in the church.
Wasn't what, a helper, an usher or something? Okay.
A helper,
So it's one of the officials in the youth group?
Yes,
So you started talking to them?
Yes.
Opening up?
Opening up, that was new for me because I wasn't someone who was very good at sharing feelings with people.
Especially. So was it strange for you to open up, or did you trust that person and you felt comfortable opening up?
It was strange. at first, because there's this worry that, oh, someone else is going to hear about it. But I think after a while I realized that, you know, that's not going to happen. I'm going to trust this person and I'm going to tell them, because it actually felt good to tell someone rather than just typing it on the computer to a stranger that I don't know. It felt good to sit down with someone and to person say, you know what, you can actually be different. You know, you don't have to hold on to all these feelings. You can actually be free. And from
so this secret you're holding on to for many years.
Yes.
How long for?
I don't, like, it was years. That's the word I would use. Because from 10 years old until...
When did you start going to that youth group?
23.
So for 13 years.
That's, yeah, 13, yeah.
So when you started sharing and expressing what you're feeling,
yeah,
how did you feel?
It felt good. It felt good to know that someone was actually listening, and actually to sit down face to face, make eye contact with someone and tell them, this is what is actually bothering me. Right. And there was no judgment whatsoever. And
was there anything else that you were told to do? Like, was there practical advice?
Yeah, practical advice that I could use day to day. I just learned that it was hurting me more than it was hurting my dad.
Right.
Because I was the one who was unhappy. I was the one who was excluding myself. Yeah. Most of the feelings that I had towards my father, I don't think he was aware of it. Yeah. So.
And that's the thing with grudges. We've mentioned it so many times on this program, that when you have a grudge against someone, then you are hurting yourself. That's all you're doing. That person who's done wrong to you may not even realize. They may not even realize the hurt that they've caused you. And they're living their lives, they're moving on with their lives. That person could probably be 6 foot under for many years. And yet you are eating up inside with that hurt, that hatred. So unless you deal with it, and if it means speaking up, talking to someone, which is what you did, Regina.
Yes, that's right.
And as you said, did you do anything else to find a solution? I don't know if it was counselling. What else did you do as well to get help?
I started to come to more of the meetings. I started a chain of prayer to help me out on Wednesdays.
Prayer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started praying, which was new for me. Right. Because even though I had the Bible at home, I would read my Bible, and even the Bible mentions forgiveness, but still that didn't really come to mind for me at all. Yeah,
so prayer, you know, one of the things about prayer is that if we want our prayers answered, we can't have anything blocking our prayers from being heard from God.
Yeah.
And one of the things that can block a person's prayer is grudges.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Our channel with God should be clear, right? The connection should be clear, and a grudge, ill feeling, can block our prayers from being heard. That's why Jesus said, forgive, and then you will be forgiven because you have mistakes. So you started praying as well, putting the advice into practice. So, you know, give us one thing that you were told to do, something practical you're told to do.
To let go.
But what did that mean? Did that mean speaking to your dad, facing him? What did you have to do?
Meant, I mean, my dad is not in this country, but it meant speaking to him. It was first steps. You know, I would pick up the phone and I would call him. Yes. Because I've avoided doing that for a long time.
Right.
I would call him, actually making the effort to build a relationship with him, and actually to call him dad, because I didn't used to call him dad. I used to call him Mr. Adoli.
Mr. Adoli?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Because I couldn't, even when my sisters, when they would say, oh, daddy, this, I would say, oh, your father. I wouldn't say dad. Yeah. I would say your father, or I would say Mr. Adoli.
When your dad heard that, what did he think?
Whenever I would speak to him, he never got to the point where if I wanted to say something, I would just go straight and say it. I wouldn't say dad did this. I would say what I needed to say. So I don't think he ever noticed the fact that I never called him dad, or I called him Mr. Adoli or anything like that. Right. I don't think he noticed it himself.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So with that practice, that advice that you did, you called him up, the prayers, the advice, the opening up.
Yes.
How is Regina today?
Completely different. You know, I have a relationship with my sisters.
Yes.
You know, I have a relationship with my mom. You know, it's completely different. Like my mind, there's no there's no hatred anymore, and it's nice. It's just like a freedom that I don't know how to explain it, but it feels so good to be able to not feel any form of hatred towards anyone, especially my father as well.
So you love your dad today?
I do.
You don't hate him anymore?
No, nothing like that.
All right,
nothing
good.
like that. Yeah.
Now, Marie, back to you very quickly. How did you find the answer? I know you're getting onto it. How did you get the help you needed?
My sister-in-law was passing through, and then she was given a leaflet. And she called me, she said, oh, I've got something for you, you'd be very interested, go and find it, it's going to help you. And then I looked, I said, yeah, I need help, so I've been going to so many places. So, and I said, oh, let me go and check what they can do. And then the first Sunday I came, so they said, oh, it's a church. So I went there.
You as well?
Yeah, I went there. I've been to so many, but I said, there's another one. But this one, when I went, I was like skinny bone. I was size 8 when I came. You know, I was bony. Then I climbed up and I went to I was sitting at the back of the church. I didn't know nobody, nobody know me. One of the helper, my eyes was closed, she came and prayed over me. When she was praying, she was telling the whole story about my life. She's never seen me. I've never spoken to anyone about what was going on. She was mentioning suicidal thought, depression.
Maybe because the way you looked, everything was spelled out.
How can she say suicidal thought? You know, and I said, I've never spoke to anybody about that, you know, and I was planning on that. I said, there's no way out for me, no one can help me, because I've been suffering for so many years and still suffering and lost everything. Then the first Sunday I came, she prayed over me, and then I said, I need to find who she is, because I don't know her. So I went around, listened to her voice, and I spoke to her, and I said, oh, did you pray for me? She said, I did actually. And I said, you know what, you were like a fortune teller. She said, really? I said, everything that you were saying, that's what I'm going through. And she was saying so loud, because for me, I'm not used to come here and people here, but everybody had their eyes closed. I had my eyes closed. Then, when I got home, my sister said to me, there's something strange about you. I said, what's happened? He said, when I left, because my family was worried about me, because they know what's happening to me. When I came back, she said, something has happened there. I said, why? She said, it's something different about you.
What was different? What did she say?
She said something. She said, you've gone to that church, something has happened in that church.
In one visit?
In one visit, on first Sunday.
Right.
Really, even myself, I felt like, before, I didn't want to speak to anybody. I just kept quiet. I wanted just everyone to leave me alone. You know, I didn't want to speak. When I came back to church, my sister said she rang my brother. She said, you know what, something has happened to that church. She's speaking, actually speaking to my family, smiling. My sister said, go back to that church again. Go back again. Then the next Sunday, I went back again, again. And then I started feeling like I'm getting back to myself. The way I was, I could speak to people. My family could see a change inside me. To me.
When did the nightmares and the
nightmares going to happen? Then as soon as I was new in the church, I started listening what saying, praying and everything. Praying, read my Bible. I was reading my Bible all the time. One Sunday, the pastor called and he said, if anyone here suffer from nightmare, or sometimes you feel presence in your house or in your bed and you feel very scary, please come in front of the altar.
So you went up for the prayer?
I went in front of the altar and I opened up my heart and I said, my God, that man who came into my dream for many years in a suit, in a strap, please do something, help me, destroy whatever, because I cannot take this anymore, my God.
So it was the prayer that you said, and it was like you were opening up to God.
I did, because all those years suffering, I said, my God.
Kept it to
and
yourself.
I told him the man he was in strappy. And I said, all the nightmare, everything. And at the same time, because I was doing the church, and then I heard the pastor say, do a chain of prayer. Everybody was in front of the altar. That's where I started doing my chain of prayer. On my chain of prayer, I put the nightmare, all this. And then, after a couple of weeks, I would say 7 weeks, until now, I don't have any night dream. I don't have that man who was in a suit coming to hold me. Yes. I go to bed. I can put my head down. I don't have no nightmare, nothing. Until
Lights
now.
Off?
I can put the light off. I don't need any light anymore.
All right.
Since then.
How long ago was this?
It's been 6 years now.
6 years?
6 years, and since then I've never
Completely
stopped.
Free.
Completely free.
And you don't look depressed? You look happy?
I'm very happy. I've changed. Everyone says I've changed.
Yes.
I used to be very scary, but now I'm not scary anymore. Because I've learned how to.
And that's the power of prayer and what God can do in your life.
It is, yes.
Thank you very much for sharing your story with us.
You're very welcome.
All right?
Thank you.
Now, listen. 2 examples of what God can do in your life. So, if you are going through a problem, they were able to share, talk about what they were going through. Whether it was someone in church, whether it was God himself, like Marie did, and maybe, just maybe, you are blaming God, the one that can help you with the same problem. Regina was calling her dad Mr. Adoli. Maybe you're saying, Mr. God. You know, you don't give God maybe the respect he deserves or the attention he deserves to help you. So if you want this help, don't shut God out of your life, even if you don't believe in him. You don't believe in religion, and we're not here to give you religion, we're here to give you a solution. And maybe you've tried all kinds of remedies, all kinds of things, and they have not worked. Then prayer will work for you. All right? I guarantee that prayer will work because it worked for both of these ladies. It will definitely work for you. All right? I want you to get your glass of water ready. Okay? Get your glass of water ready. We're going to go for a short break. And when we come back, we're going to go for the prayer. We'll see you after this.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like a prayer concerning your spiritual well-being, send your name and prayer request to prayer@findinganswers.tv.
My God and my Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, I present to you this prayer, asking you for your intervention in this person's life. This person's been holding a secret that they've had for so long, so many years. They've kept it to themselves. And that problem has been eating away at them, eating away at their soul, putting this person down. It's even affecting other areas of their lives, affecting relationships with others, affecting their work, even affecting their health and their mental and physical state. My God, this person, if they only knew that you're the solution, you are the answer, and you can answer this person right now. If only they turn to you, if only they look up to you and ask for help. My God, help this person who's been suffering for so long and they feel that they are alone. This person has tried all kinds of remedies. They've tried all kinds of treatments, but nothing has worked for them. So in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, I pray that this water that they hold in their hands, that it will be now an instrument. Bless this water and take away whatever's been eating away up inside of this person. Take away this burden, this pain. Take away this feeling, my Lord. And let this person be light and free. And this person, my God, I believe, just as you changed Marie and Regina's life, the same will happen now. This is going to be the start of a new beginning for this person. This is what I pray in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. You may drink this water now and receive a new beginning, a new start to your life in Jesus' name. Okay, so I really do believe that a change through this prayer has taken place. And remember, always tune into this program. She mentioned something about a chain of prayer. And maybe the stories that we have, the people that come on and share their experiences of what God has done in their lives, maybe it doesn't relate to you, but maybe you can do a chain of prayer every night with this glass of water. And I'm sure that you're going to see a change tonight. And even if you don't, still do the chain with the glass of water, because I believe if you can't sleep today, try again tomorrow. God, He's not far away. He will help you. And I believe that that change is starting tonight. All right? Until the next time, have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.